Okay, then let's get started then. So, have you props ready? Make sure you're in a quiet environment and a warm environment. As you know, in Yin, we don't move much, so it's easy to get cold. So, we're going to start in a seated position. So, find a seated position of your choice. You can sit on a block like me, on a small block. It makes it easier to keep the spine straight. With the head on top of the heart on top of the pelvis. You can place your hands on your thighs and then just arrive in the room. So close your eyes and maybe listen to the sounds in the room you're in. And then maybe you can smell perfumes, any smells in the room. And maybe you can feel some air on your skin. So arrive in your room, and now arrive on your mat. So notice the way you seated. And now notice your breath. So don't change it, don't judge it, just notice it. Maybe it's in the chest or the belly. Maybe it's fast or slow. Deep or shallow. It doesn't matter, just notice it. And now you're going to extend your in-breath and out-breath. And on each in-breath, you're going to visualize your breath traveling up the spine. And on the out-breath, it travels down the spine. So breathe in, your breath travels up the spine. And breathe out, it travels down the spine. And maybe you can count to a count of 4 or 5 just to make it easier. And maybe on each out breath, when the breath is traveling down, you can at the same time Make it travel all the way into the earth and let go of any negative emotions or any negative thought. Release it into the earth. But on the in-breath, you breathe in the energy of the earth, or the prana, the energy of life. So breathe in the energy of life from the earth, traveling up the spine. And when you breathe out all negative energy, emotions, thoughts, and you release it into the earth. Now do 2 more rounds. And then come back to your natural breath. And you're going to bring the hands together and you're going to rub your hands. And then you're going to place your hands on your lower back or your kidneys to start with. So feel the energy coming off your hands, entering your body. In your spine. Again, bring the hands forward, rub them again. Now you're going to place your hands underneath the ribs, so you probably need to turn off the palms of the hands outside and just place the back of your hands against your back, just underneath your ribs. Now again, bring the hands forward, give them a rub. And now place them on your upper back or the back of your neck, wherever you can reach. And if you can't reach, that's okay. And then release your arms. We're going to come into our back, so lying down on our back. So take your time. And then bring the knees into the chest to come into your supine child's pose. So you just grab hold of your wrist, place your hands or your arms on top of your knees, no pulling. Just let the knees drop towards the chest naturally. Let the spine be soft and grounded. Make sure every vertebra is in contact with the earth. And just observe the sensations in this pose. Relax the shoulders. Relax the arms. Relax all the muscles in your face. And especially your jaw. And maybe you can think of an intention for this class. You may want to choose one for the entire day. And then just keep repeating your intention in your head to keep you focused and to help manifest it. And when thoughts come into your mind, just come back to your breath. Feel of the earth is supporting you. And now place the hands on your knees. And you're going to bring the big toes to touch. And then you're going to make some nice bear circle outwards. So you first bringing the knees to the side. And then make big circle with your knees using your hands. And now we're going to go in the opposite direction. So you first open the knees to the side and then bring them back in. So we just moving the knees in the opposite direction. And now you're going to place the feet on the mat, keep the knees bent. So grab hold of your block or your bolster or your cushion, whatever you have. As we're going to go into supported bridge. So ideally you should just be able to touch the heels of your feet with the fingers. Then push with the feet, tuck the tailbone under to lift the hips. And then place the block, the bolster, whatever you have. Place it underneath the tailbone. And then just slowly lower down. And if you can, bring your arms into cactus. Elbows bent, shoulder height. And just let yourself melt into the pose. Remember, in Yin, we don't use any muscles. We use gravity to stretch our ligaments, tendons, and fascias. And now scan your body for any sensations. You can also scan your breath. . Observing every move with each in-breath and each out-breath. And then depending on how your back feels, you can extend the legs in front of you. Only do that if it's comfortable for you, otherwise keep your knees bent. Now you're going to bend your knees. Again, if you extended your legs. Push with the feet to lift the hips higher. And then remove your block or your bolster, whatever you use to place underneath the spine. And then gently lower it down. Take a moment to observe the effect of the last pose. And then you're going to roll onto one side. And you're going to come into tabletop. Remember to transition slowly and mindfully. Spread your fingers apart, the hands underneath the shoulders. And then you're going to move the hips over to the right, and then forward, and then to the left, and then back. Making circles with your hips. They can be small, they can be big. And then observe what happens when you move. Maybe in your hip joints, in your back. And now you're going to move in the opposite direction. Does it feel different when you move in the opposite direction? And then come back through center in your tabletop. And as you breathe in, come into cow, but feel every move in your spine. So bring the belly closer to the mat, open the chest, look up. As you breathe out, Come into cat, so rounding the spine by pushing the hands and the knees against the mat. And again, observe the movement of each vertebrae. Breathe in, come back into ka, observing how your vertebrae are moving. Breathe out, come into cat. Really connect with your spine. I'm going to do one more time. Come back into neutral. So for those of you who have shoulder problem, that could be an issue. We're going to come into thread the needle. So Angela, let me know how that goes. So place the right arm underneath the left arm. Come and rest on the right cheek. Keep the hips above the knees. And if you can, extend the left arm above your head. Just checking, yep, everyone is in the pose. Okay, so remember to breathe where you feel the most sensations. Make sure to keep the hips above the knees, so maybe you need to readjust and push them a little bit over to the right. Notice the effect on your spine, the effect of this pose. Remember to relax the muscles in the arms, in the legs, in the glutes. And now slide the left hand underneath the left shoulder to push and come back into your tabletop. So observe the effect of the last pose, the difference between maybe the right shoulder, the left shoulder. And now let's move on to the other side. So place the left arm underneath the right arm, rest the head on the left cheek. Make sure the hips stay above the knees, and if you can, extend the right arm above your head. And observe. So keep observing your breath as well. And the sensations. The sensations can be physical, but they can be also emotional and mental. Try to stay still in the mind, but also physically. Now bring the right hand back underneath the right shoulder to push back into your tabletop. Observe the effects of this last pose on the right side, the left side. Is there any differences? And as you're going to come onto the belly, and then bring the forearms in front of you on top of each other and rest the forehead on top of your forearms into your crocodile pose. All you need to do is relax all the muscles in the legs. Let the feet drop to the side, release the glutes, and all the muscles in you alongside the spine. And then on your next in-breath, lift the head and then place the forearms on the mat to come into your Sphinx pose. Elbows are right underneath the shoulders. Make sure that they're not wider, really underneath. Palm of the hands against the mat, fingers spread. And again, release all the muscles in the legs, in the glutes. Hope you're comfortable. Try to look forward and down, but keep your eyes closed. Let the belly fall towards the mat. Observe the sensations in your spine. And release the forehead on the mat. Take a moment there to observe the effect of the last pose. And now, hands underneath the shoulders, push back into your tabletop. Step the right foot forward next to the right hand and find your favorite dragon pose. So you can use the bolster underneath the left thigh. Use your block. Remember, if it's too intense, you can stay with an upright spine and place simply the blocks underneath your hands. If that might be already enough for you. Because you can always place them in front with the forearms resting on top or the hands resting on top of the blocks. Really take your time. I'm going to stay a few minutes because we can't look after the spine if we don't look after the hips and the psoas muscle in particular. So there are these big muscles that attach to the middle of the spine and then travel through the pelvis and attach in front of the hips. Just relax into this pose, let your pelvis be heavy. Just breathe where you're feeling the most sensations. Observe the sensations, whatever they are. Well done. Just slowly now come out of the pose. And now step the left foot forward. We're going to stretch the other psoas, the one on the right side. Again, use your props, place them where they need to be. Maybe this side is different. Maybe you need more props on this side. Maybe you need less. So remember to listen to your body. Take your time to find your edge. And when you're ready, just relax into the pose. And this side might feel very different. It certainly feels different for me. It's a bit tighter on the front of my right hip. So observe what is happening for you in this pose. Now you're going to slowly come back on your hands, if you want your forearms to slowly come out of the pose. Well done. So we're going to come into seated to start with again. Moving all my props. You're going to extend the legs in front of you and then place either your cushion, rolled up towel or blanket, or you can even lie down on your blocks. So you're going to place them underneath the spine and lie on top of them. So make sure to leave a gap. If you have a bolster, leave a gap, or a rolled up towel or blanket, or if it's a pillow. If it's your block, make sure it's kind of in middle of your spine, and maybe you can use another block to rest your head on top. And slowly roll the spine down. Your head is fully supported. Extend the legs and bring the arms alongside the body, palms facing up. Into your supported fish pose. Completely relax all the muscle alongside the spine. Observe the sensations, whether they're physical, mental, or emotional. Emotional in this pose. Come back to your breath. And then you're going to gently roll onto one side and remove whatever props you used to come and lie down for your final relaxation or Shavasana. So tuck the shoulder blades underneath. Cover yourself with a blanket. Use your eye pillow. Whatever you need to make sure you are really comfortable. You can use your block and place it underneath the knees if you want to, just to relieve a bit of pressure on the lower back. Vicky, if you wanted to. It's a great way to come into Shavasana. So notice how you're feeling following this practice, and especially in your spine. Notice what has changed. What hasn't changed. Just reading some extract from my little book, The Treasures of Eternal Bliss. When thoughts become calm, then divine power and light will arise. We are divine souls, but we do not know who we are. With the gifts of unconditional love, righteousness, and wisdom, a spiritual teacher can guide us so that with practice we will attain mental peace and happiness. Maybe you can come back to your intention as well. So slowly start coming back into your physical body. Notice the weight of your body against the mat. And notice the sounds in your room or around you, the smell. Coming back into the here and now. And then bring your arms above your head and give yourself a nice stretch. Final spinal extension. And when you're ready, just roll onto the right side using your hands as a pillow. When you're ready, use your left arm to push yourself up into a seated position of your choice. Keep your eyes closed, bring your hands in Namaste or Anjali Mudra in front of your heart. So thank you, body, for allowing you to practice yoga. Angela. Thank you, self, for looking after yourself, all of you, for looking after your mental, physical, and emotional well-being. Please keep reminding yourself of your intention if it's one you set for the entire day. And for me, thank you for practicing with me this morning. Namaste.